Hey guys, what's going on? This is going to be my Enhancement Shaman Totemic PvP guide for the War Within Season 3. If you are wondering, I do have a separate guide for Stormbringer, and as for everyone's most burning question is which one is stronger, Totemic or Stormbringer? I think it comes down to personal preference, but I think once Forset comes into play, I do believe Totemic might be a bit stronger, just due to the reason it's got a smaller burst window, meaning it can burst quicker, and it's not as scripted, I guess, or predictable. So I do believe Totemic will be stronger, but it does come with its a bit more advanced play style than Stormbringer. Stormbringer is very simple and straightforward to follow, so it really does come down to you. But anyways, this guide I am gonna go over gearing, so your stats and stuff, and then I'm gonna have some videos to show how I do my damage and what kind of utility I use for that stuff, as well as talents. And to start off with, I've done both guides differently. So I did Stormbringer differently to how I'm doing Totemic. So let me know which version you like better. Not the whole talent system, but just the way the video's laid out. So anyways, let's get started. So first up, we're going to take a look at gear, which is very straightforward and very similar to last season. And if you've already seen my Stormbringer guide, you probably noticed that my gear is already different, and that is because it's taken at a different time. So, but it's still the exact same stats as before. So, anyways, I believe a good split between haste and mastery is always healthy. If you have a little bit less haste, gem for haste. If you have a little bit less mastery, gem for mastery. But versatility always comes with PvP here, so you don't have to worry. It's very, very simple. I don't know. A lot of people say, oh, full haste or full mastery, but I like to do a nice little sweet in between so that way I get a little bit of both worlds, and it always feels the best. So, start off with for our crafted gear, which you get 9 of those medallion thingies to craft pieces. You get 3. You can choose to do 3 jewelry or a couple other pieces. I chose to do jewelry, which have the focus lens on it, which deals damage. Your abilities and stuff have a chance to deal damage based on what socket gem you have. Now, keep in mind, the bloodstone does not count as a gem towards that buff, so you will need to put in a regular gem first before you put in your bloodstone. But if you have farmed up the honor, hopefully you have all your gem slots, unlike me, who's been very lazy. But anyways, the first ring is Haste Mastery, then I go with Verse Mastery, and then I go with Verse Mastery on my neck. That's because I think Mastery is a bit healthier, and you already get like a trinket with Heavy Haste, and you can go with your cloak with Heavy Haste, and I believe even more haste is coming forth with like chest plate and stuff like that. So you can already build up a whole lot of haste without it. Um, as for tier set, I am going for legs, gloves, shoulders, and helmet. And the reason being is because of PvE. If you don't know who I am, I do a lot of PvE as well, so I'm playing both versions of the game. So I'm just going with what I'm using in PvE and upgrading it to a PvP value. Now, I don't really think it matters which tier pieces you go with, but I do believe that shoulders, legs, gloves, and helmet are going to be the best combo. Obviously, I believe going for shoulders and gloves first because they are the cheapest. You can get 2 set real quick. But do keep in mind the tier sets are nerfed in PvP, but they are still highly valuable. As for enchants on the weapon, I just go with Radiant Power. I've seen some people do Authority of the Depths, which it does work, but I just find Radiant Power is really good because not only does it do damage, it gives you agility. So it's pretty darn powerful. But as for that, I think that's it for gearing purposes. So let's move on to the talents. So with the talents, it's very well, actually, it's the exact same as last season. You are taking Elemental Blast, you're taking Primordial Storm, and you're taking Elemental Spirits because they are very powerful. And you're focused around Lavalash with Doomwind's combo. So with this setup, your 1 minute burst is insanely high. Like, you can actually one shot people pretty darn well, and you get a significant amount of damage out of the tier set as well. It's just going to amplify that even more. So you are a terrifying menace every 1 minute. Outside of that minute, you're not that scary, to be honest. You're kind of just hitting like a wet noodle, but you still do provide a bit of strength through your utility and stuff like that. So, but you are extremely terrifying every 1 minute if you can get that setup going. Now, there is only one talent that I would, or actually you could kind of swap between two, I guess, depending on your preference. Ice Strike, you could take Ice Strike with the Maelstrom proc chance. uh I with this build personally, I would stick to Ice Strike just because it's more of a guaranteed effect, and you're not spending Maelstrom in Totemic like you are in Stormbringer. Totemic, you are very reserved and loading up for that huge 1 minute go. So that's my only concern. But if you prefer playing with regular Ice Strike, then go for it. That is definitely your choice, and it is very helpful, especially if you get a lot of procs behind it. The other one is Pulse Capacitor. Now, this is only 18% in PvP, I believe, or maybe it's 18% overall. I thought it was like 25, but it doesn't seem to be. This could have some extreme power mixed with the 2 set, but you're playing with fire there because you would have to keep your totem on top of your targets. Like, it's very important this season because of the way the tier set works. So if you are really good at landing your totem and always having it do damage, I would go with Pulse Capacitor. But Supportive Imbuements is definitely a great passive choice to amplify your Flame Tongue damage because it definitely does damage now. It's been buffed quite a few times, and you can see it also does a little combo with Wind Fury as well, thanks to Imbuement Mastery. It has a chance to do extra damage, so you're just amplifying that even more. So yeah, that is the prime value of Totemic. Is your 1 minute burst is absolutely terrifying and very hard to predict and very hard to shut down as well. So just keep that in mind. Anyways, that's it for the talents. There is only one. You For PvP talents, I swap between Grounding Totem and Counter Strike in Totemic. I don't really, once in a while, use Static Field if I'm fighting something very mobile, such as a dragon or a hunter, maybe. But typically, I will stick to Burrow just for that extra defensive, and then Totem of Wrath because we're using Primordial Wave and it's very, very powerful. So, anyways, let's go on to how we're going to do damage. And I have some 2s arenas to showcase it and hopefully help you realize how to do the damage and use your utility as well. All right, so now we got some Totemic 2's footage with my friend Shook, who is healing me on his Resto Shaman. And I have a few matches here I want to showcase. This one is against an Outlaw Rogue, which is a very high skill cap class, but also very frustrating to fight as well. So you can see I'm dropping my Earth Grab, trying to catch the Rogue out of stealth, and then moving it. If I don't catch him, I'm moving it to my healer, so that way I can try and get him out and, just stop him from doing anything. And you can see the priest instantly paints up. So I see that and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to hold my cooldowns. I'm just going to try and bait him around, see if I can't wait it out. And you can see here, I start ready to go, interrupt, hex, and now I'm going to drop my totem, set up my burst, Doom Winds, Primordial Swim, and you can just see the damage. Look at his health. Look at his health. He almost didn't react in time and he almost died. So you can just see the explosive damage. And I'm going to basically be doing that same combo in all these matches. Is drop your totem, Flame Shock, Doom Wind, or Primordial Wave, Doom Winds, Primordial Storm combo into an Ellie Blast. And I'll have something in the top left to showcase what exactly I'm doing. And you can also see in the bottom by my recount, you can see all the buttons I'm pressing as well. So you can see here, I'm using, Shook is actually using Static Field. And you can see I brought down the Rogue. He didn't let him escape, but... So I do have another one, which I have to find. We got our butts kicked in this one. So this one here, This is really going to show you the power behind Totemic Enhancement Shaman. So this one we are fighting a Dev Evoker, and you can see I'm actually running Static Field Totem this time and getting ready. So I instantly grabbed them both with a root, and he goes ahead and does his Dragon Roar, Sleeps Shook, which I could have went ahead and tremored, which I definitely should have, but I don't know. I went for the interrupt and failed, so I start getting ready to burst. I get my wolves out. I get my primordial wave. I get doom winds. Drop a cap totem. Combo him into an ice strike, elemental blast, and he's gone. He's gone. Like the amount of damage you can dish out with Totemic is insane. It is basically Stormbringer's consistent damage throughout the whole thing, but instantly. And here's another decent one. So Windwalker, if you've ever fought a Windwalker, you know they have a very high burst. So I'm actually using Counter Strike, but you'll see I haven't put it on my bar yet. So it's kind of questionable. You can see here he goes ahead and Parashook. I knock him away. I realize I don't have Counter Strike, so I quickly open up talents, and now I start getting prepared. So I drop my totem. I see he's got Fists of Fury, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just hang out for a sec, see what I can do, see what he's gonna do. So I go ahead. All right, he's used his stuff. I'm going to drop a cap totem, and I see him move. So I know where he's going to move, so I get my burst ready, and then I move my secondary cap totem, and you can just... the damage. It's just there. It's insane. He almost died. If that priest did not trinket life swap, he was done. He was done. Like, it's... you have so much power behind that 1 minute combo. It's absolutely terrifying. But you can see here, I'm very scared of him, but he's also scared of me because he's low. So we go ahead and we're going to chase. And right here is the moment of luck because it was either one of us could have died here. So I Primordial Storm into his Fists of Fury and just miss because he parries and we just barely get it. I drop a Counter Strike totem and unfortunately he doesn't kill it on his part. We're able to take him out. But yeah, you can just see the burst combo behind the monk as well is I could have fallen over there as well. Other than that, we have here's another one with a Destro lock. So he pops his wall, which is Dark Pact. So I'm just gonna hide. There's no point in me attacking, right? He's got a defensive up. What's the point in attacking into it, really? So I'm just gonna hold out. He dropped Infernal as well, and we're just gonna kind of stall, get our damage prepared, kind of see what's happening, and wait until his Dark Pact falls off. And there it goes. It falls off. So I drop a cap totem. He jumps on top of his healer, and I knew he was going to do that. So I get a combo ready, drop, same combo, and you can just see this damage. Boom. But I don't get anything else, okay? And I get a big old Ellie Blast into a Primordial Storm from my totem. It was unfortunate on their part, but you can see the raw damage of Totemic is great. It's actually insane. And here's one of a Assassination Rogue. So this is probably a combo that you will find very, very annoying. So same thing here is I'm going to open with Earth Grab on the floor, see if I can't get him, instantly move it to my healer, my teammate. So that way, as you can see, he cheap shots me, but since he got rooted, he cannot hit me at the same time. So it stalls out his opener significantly. So I don't know why the pally hodged me, but he did. But anyways, I go for the Hex, back off, and now I get prepared to do a combo, drop my cap totem, and burst, boom. You can see that, boom, damage. He almost didn't react in time to my burst. So then he uses cloak and gets away, so I just quickly swap. Might as well pressure somebody else that doesn't have a defensive, right? There's no reason to hit the same target. So we're going to continue on to the Paladin until the Rogue comes back to fight. So there he is. So I'm going to get back on top of him. He drops a Smoke Bomb, so I'm instantly going to Trinket and Defensive because Smoke Bomb is terrifying. And the Paladin's still in melee. He has all my dots. I drop a Counter Strike, and you can just see he's taking a lot of damage. I have another combo coming up, so I walk over to the Rogue, pop another Primordial Storm. He has to cast Lay on Hands. And you can just see, and I'm not doing a very great job of moving my totem whatsoever. And do keep an eye out for interrupts because your interrupt is the best thing. But here the Rogue is terrified, so I go ahead and root him. He invises, I guess. I think it's Night Elf invis, something like that. So I go ahead. I knew the Rogue was invis, and I knew he was going to open on me, so I preemptively dropped a counter or cap totem and got him stunned as soon as he stuns me, drop a counter strike so that way he knows, I can't quite hit you yet. But here I get another combo, drop my totem, drop a Primordial Storm, and he disarms me, which is very good on his part because if he disarms mid Primordial Storm, it negates all the damage. But unfortunately, he didn't interrupt my Hex, so I got that off. But you can just see here, we're putting a lot of pressure, and this isn't normal. This is not normal. Enhance feels very, very powerful this season, and then compared to last season and the season before, it's crazy. So he sets up another one, but he doesn't quite get anywhere with it, and I'm able to finish him off. I don't know. It's just Enhance is actually feeling very powerful this season, so look forward to it. But anyways, guys, that is it for my guide. I don't know if this is going to help. I hope it does because I tried. I really did, and I'm not usually good at these, so do let me know. But anyways, thanks so much for watching. Hope this helps, and best of luck in those arenas. Laters!